right, so we're hanging out at Andy Kravitz's place, and Andy has some amazing new, I should say old.
New, old, newish, and very old.
It's this gigantic console sitting over here to my right. Tell us what this is.
Well, this is a 1941 RCA 76B recording console. And it was made in Camden, New Jersey at the RCA factory, as was everything RCA
Right.
at that time. And the incredible thing about this is it's brand new. It's never been powered up.
Never been powered up.
So it's actually a new old stock console from 1941. Right. And it's come with all of these incredible artifacts from that era. A sales slip compiled 6/10/1941, and the original packing slip.
Whoa.
And their seats. It even comes with its own superfine lubricating oil. And I'm not sure what this is, but I believe that this has something to do with lubricating these faders, which is, believe it or not, these were faders back in the day.
And remind me, what's the construction again for the pot?
These are a stepped resistive network pot. So behind this panel, the pot's maybe this big, and it's stepped resistors all soldered around it. And they're very smooth. And this is what they used before they invented the fader.
Right.
That's what they had, was these.
It's all knobs.
All knobs.
Yeah.
So they were made by a company called Davin, D-A-V-E-N.
Wow.
Davin pots, they're called.
And like with a lot of old gear, got the massive VU meter on the front.
Yes, the Weston meter.
Yeah.
And this console, you notice, has sort of two sides to it. It was made to, you could run two studios at once. One group in this studio booth, one group in that studio booth, or an announcer and a performer.
Right.
And you could cue things up separately and then send them out over the air. And one of the very interesting things about this unit is you'll see that it has a line output, and there's a regular REG, regular channel, and then there's the EMG emergency channel that you could broadcast on. So that switch would send it ultimately to a different transmitter over a different frequency to be picked up by different people.
And what is your intended use for this?
The intended use of this is to put it into service for the first time as a recording console.
Yeah.
A fully autonomous recording console, or something that could be combined with the new Pro Tools rigs and, say, my 1970 vintage Neve here. So they could all kind of work together.
So these guys in here, these are all like transformers, right?
Yeah.
Feeding the preamp.
Correct. That's correct, Eric. These are all shock mounted, as you can see, in case of vibration. And so it's incredibly well made, engineered by Army Corps of Engineers level guys. So these round cans are transformers, all iron, which is what makes the thing so heavy. And all of these sockets are the tube sockets, which we're going to unbox the tubes and hopefully just load these tubes in and get them ready. And then we're going to have a look at the power supply.
Sweet.
The RCA power supply. And if you look at this is a regular channel. Immediately you see the emergency and the regular channel. This is going to reset switch.
Right. And then you've got your slots for your rectifier tubes.
Right, and we have a brand new set of rectifier tubes here, which are new old stock.
Nice.
Standard brand.
And then we've got, looks like, I'm looking for their filter. These are filter capacitors right here.
Filter caps here, and as you can,
God, they're massive.
as you can clearly see, this is hinged in here. See these hinges? Right? These are hinged. By loosening these two bolts here, A and B, this whole thing hinges out, and you can gain access to what is the rest of it, as you can see through here. Clearly, you can see through there. Yeah. So this weighs about 60 pounds, and that weighs about 100 pounds.
Jeez.
So together it's 160 pounds of joy.
Now we've got a few projects ahead of us though before you can even fire it up.
This is true.
Right.
As you can see here, this brings us to the schematics for the unit, which came along with it. Clearly you can see that there's simplified schematic of control circuits. So if you were to see the whole thing at once, it would kind of look like this, which is almost too much to look at.
It's too much to look at.
So what they've done is they've broken it down into, like, you know, like when they show like parts of the human body, this is the nervous system, and this is the muscular system, and this is the, you know, so that's what they've done here. So fortunately for us, this will help us in our next step, which is to connect the power supply to the console.
Yeah.
Which a lot of things today come all already integrated. Back in the day, you would have to build those interconnects yourself, which is what we're here to do, what you're here to help do with your expertise. And yeah, so very exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
This is going to be fun. To be continued.
To be continued.